Hey guys, welcome to Not So Random Chat, the nighttime live stream where we talk about whatever we want to. So, settle in and grab your libation. It could be your wine or tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. And let's just sit back and chill. I'll be with you in a moment. Are you guys ready? Okay, well, so am I. So let's get into it. Here I come. Hola! From the west side. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hey, 1SP. So, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for liking and sharing, as you always do, 1SP. So, I am going to be coming on camera momentarily. My back is feeling much better today. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. So, I'm in one of my normal locations. We're not in my boudoir tonight. So, let me come on camera. All right, so hey everybody. All right, so today they came back with the verdict in the Nipsey Hussle murder trial. And the verdict was first degree. So now we just need to wait for the sentencing phase. You know, I know for like people that live in other parts of the country or in other parts, you know, of the world, you know, or if you're not into, you know, if you weren't into rap, you know, you wouldn't know, may not know that much about Nipsey Hussle. But outside of his rapping, he was an ex-member of the Crips. And he also was trying to make a change in his community. So he was a community activist. He was one of the reasons that a local skating rink that was frequented primarily by Blacks was reopened. He and Snoop
in partnership with some other people, were the reason it opened back up. Now, because of, everything that's happened in the last few years, it's standing there not open. And as is his Marathon clothing store. His youngest child's mother, Lauren London, I guess, is in charge of everything. And I don't think she knows a whole lot about running a clothing apparel business. So I think it's mainly online right now. I'm just not sure what's really going on with Marathon, even though, the saying is the marathon continues. But maybe now that the perpetrator of this heinous crime is behind bars, and is going to be behind bars, and is convicted, the family can have some peace and can, move forward. Now, I believe that his family is Eritrean, like Tiffany Haddish, but they are Eritrean Christians. They're not Eritrean Jews. So, yeah. Because if you saw the televised celebration of life that they had for him, his family got up there and they were, doing a lot of different biblical scriptures. I think they are more like Greek Orthodox, like they follow the Greek Orthodox Church versus the Western Christianity. But I'm hoping that what comes out of this is positive for his family. And moving on to the next hot topic. And I guess this is going to be a hot topic for a minute. I spoke about this yesterday, and this morning, this was a conversation on another channel from the perspective of who the topic was about. So, Macy Gray made a statement. She has since kind of made an apology for said statement. And the statement that she made was about the biology of a woman versus the biology of a trans woman. And she gave her opinion. And she then became a target of cancellation by the community. And now it's becoming, an argument between Black women and trans. And I would say specifically Black trans women. Now, I offered, some of my opinions in regards to this, not even dealing, with the biblical, because, you have many people. You have many people, hey, Zero. You have many people who, you know, think that the Bible is a fairy tale. So, that being said, my opinion was around genetics, chromosomes, and stuff, because my opinion is that the majority of humanity, and there are exceptions to this rule, is either XX or XY. And though I understand, or I try to understand, hey big brother, I try to understand, because I can't really understand, because I'm not trans. But I understand that for trans women, it's about who they feel they are inside versus what they are outside. But I think the statement that Macy was getting at was, even with changing things on the external to match your internal feelings, that still doesn't change the fact of whether you have an X and a Y chromosome that you developed from. That can't be changed. And I think that was the part that she was talking about. Yes, we know that there are women who do not have a normal reproductive system, who have two X chromosomes. I have to do it, I have to say it this way, because, so that we're dealing with it from that perspective. And they may not have a normal womb. They may not have a womb. They may have issues with their fallopian tubes. They may have issues producing eggs. They may not have a normal menses, or they may have no menses. All of these things can be going on. Yes, there are women who can't have children. So yeah, that's a valid argument for someone who is trans and saying, that's not the distinction. But the distinction is that normally a person with two X chromosomes, or who came from two X chromosomes, the X chromosome in the egg, because that's all the egg is an X chromosome, and the X chromosome that was in the spermatozoa. So they developed from that. Yeah, we doing a science lesson here. Okay. That can't be changed. Even from how you feel as a person inside, and how you feel and how you have changed your appearance on the outside. Okay. But I think what the issue is for some of us, because, I am a born woman, born female, regardless of my assignment at birth, I came from two X chromosomes. Whereas my son, who I have, came from an X and a Y. Y supplied by his father. So I think that's where she was coming from, or that's what her thinking was. But the crazy thing to me is that the community sometimes feels that they can say whatever they want to those of us who are not part of the community, you know, the heterosexual portion of the population, and that we can't have any type of opinion or have our own opinion. Because let me just tell you something. I don't care what someone wants to call themselves. You know, whatever your pronouns are, because, you know, this is the way of the world these days. Okay. And I understand that here in the United States, things are very, very different from in other countries, and how things are handled with trans women. But here's the thing. I don't have a problem with you calling yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But at the same time, don't tell me that I have to conform to what it is that you want to call me. I do not refer to myself as a cis woman. I'm a woman. I have a womb. I've had a womb my entire life. So when I was in the girl stage, I was still a woman. I was a little woman developing into a grown woman. I just, the conversation that I heard this morning, and, you know, shouts out to Conscious TV, you know, because I do support him. He is a gay man. He is, you know, he is not, you know, trans or anything like that, but, you know, he hosted the platform and had someone up there who does identify as trans. And this person was just so hostile from the time that they got up there. And I stayed up in the clouds for this one because, you know, I just could not let my spirit and my energy, you know, get twisted in with the toxicity that was coming. So, you know, this person got up there, they said a whole lot of foul things, you know, some, unfortunately, of the typical things that are said to Black women in particular by trans women, Black trans women, or sometimes by Black gay men. You know, calling, you know, us, you know, an animal that swims in the ocean. Indicating that we may have some kind of unpleasant odor, which we've already talked about that. That's a pH balance issue that these young ladies wouldn't have if they would drink some damn water and change the diets. And I'd be sitting there drinking sodas. And I'm not drinking a soda. Have more fruits and vegetables. Things that make things smell good. And help with pH balance. But moving right along, saying, the B word and all kinds of just disrespectful things to the women who came up on the panel. And I can understand, people having, certain defense mechanisms because of their own personal experiences. But this person was and I understand that there are some people who don't treat them very well. But you know what? It's not just Black women. It's society as a whole. Because, as this person said, we, don't understand. I mean, they tried to convince us that being a woman is a social status. I mean, it's a social construct that the social construct defines what a woman acts like and everything, and it's different from society to society. But society didn't decide that I'm a woman. God did. In my opinion. And I think that some of the issue is that we don't want assumptions to be made about us any more than you want assumptions to be made about you. And just like it's not all Black women, I know this is not all trans women. I know it's not. And they've also been trying to drag Flame Monroe, the comedian, because he agreed with Macy's assessment. Now, I'm not sure if Flame is a drag queen or if trans. I because if they identify as trans, I do know that they didn't do anything in regards to their member because they have several children who they have full custody of. So I'm not sure, but nonetheless, Flame. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if Flame is a drag queen or if Flame is trans. I'm not sure. So I think that they identify as trans. But that's what I think. That's not what I know. Because how would I know? I don't know them. But I think this is, I guess, people need something else to talk about now. So this is the new one. So now, and then somebody had said something crazy like, Macy is masculine. Why would you think that Macy's masculine? Because she has a more gritty voice. She doesn't have, quote unquote, male she doesn't carry herself like a man. Matter of fact, I think she's got a kid. It's always like women that have these more gravelly voices that are more deep, that people kind of think are kind of masculine, but what? So because my voice is a little deeper now, because it's, the evening and I've been talking all day. Am I masculine? I don't think so. See, that's the thing that I've talked about before. People do not understand Black femininity. They don't understand our femininity. They expect our femininity to be the European or white standard of femininity. And ours is different because we got 150 years out of being in bondage. Black women still barely have any, real, we're still at the bottom of the totem pole. And many times we have to mask and pretend that we're superwomen when we're not. So I guess maybe that comes across as, masculine, because it appears that some of us act like we don't need a man when we really do. It's just a bunch of nonsense. What's feminine? How do you define femininity? How do you define what constitutes being feminine? If I had my hair all cut off, had the short cut, had it lined up and everything, and didn't wear makeup, and and I didn't wear dresses. I don't wear that much anyway, but that's beside the point. Would that make me masculine? Am I masculine because I play basketball? Because I ran track? I was in some sports. I'm just saying. It's comical to me that someone who is striving to be a woman can determine what someone who was born a woman's femininity should be. We as Black women are always having our femininity questioned. They're always questioning it. Always. You know. Because I'm going to tell you, you'd be hard pressed to see me in a dress or a skirt. I wear them. I have them. But I work from home when I'm working, and I will be working soon. We'll get into that after we finish this part. And, you know, I put on dresses. You know, but I mainly wear t-shirts and jeans and flip-flops. Because I'm from the East Coast. I grew up in DC and Maryland. And yeah, the flip-flops, wearing flip-flops year-round, I didn't get that from here. I got that from living in Maryland. That part. So, yeah, that's, you know, I mean, when I was in an office and everything, I had to be corporate. I've had suits that were, you know, skirts, and, you know, I have dresses that I would wear to work and everything. Still have them. Still wear them every once in a while. Yeah. But for the most part, I don't wear them. Don't wear them. So, am I not feminine? My man has no issues with it, you know. I'm definitely feminine to him, you know. And, you know, here's the thing. All women know how to turn that feminine on for the man they want to turn it on for. We all have it. I'm saying, why would you display it like for everybody? You don't want to be with everybody. Sorry, y'all, I got a fan. But femininity, you know, there's a vast spectrum of what is feminine. Because what is not feminine to you may not be to the next person. And it's someone in the community cannot tell me how to be a woman or how to be feminine, or how to put on my makeup, how to put on the wig if I so chose to put on, how to walk in heels, or any of that stuff. You know, because I know how to do all of that stuff. Despite the fact that I was a tomboy. Despite the fact. You know? Part of my femininity has a girly girl side. But that's not the same for all women. You can't judge, you know, what one woman's femininity against another one. And I'm certainly not going to take the opinion of someone who, was not born a woman, about the femininity of someone who was. You know, the thing is that you don't have to like Macy Gray's opinion. You can be mad that she said that because because she has a big platform. But I don't think what she said is not what there are other people who feel this way. And if you feel that it was ignorant and uninformed and whatever you want to say, then why don't you educate us? It doesn't mean that it's going to change people's opinions, but I think it's crazy labeling everyone as being phobic when that's not the truth. Everybody's not phobic. Everybody's not phobic. Nope. And everyone is not in a competition. See, I think for some, it's a competition. And there's it's not even competition, because just as with those of us who were born a woman, people different, we may like the similar people, but that doesn't mean that those similar people will like us, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone who would be interested in me wouldn't necessarily be interested in you, and vice versa. That's, but it got so ugly this morning. I was just sitting there listening, and I was watching the chat, and I think the part that's unfair is that, and there are some in the community that don't understand that just as we shouldn't be able to force our beliefs on them, they can't force their beliefs on us in things like naming, or the understanding of what a woman is. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I just know the XX. That's what I know. That's what I know. XX is girl, XY is boy. And that's something that is deep inside your DNA that cannot be changed by anything that we do externally. Because we are not God. We are not the creator. And I think that's what she was talking about. It was not about, really who people are, or how they present themselves and all of that stuff. I don't think it was about any of that. I think it was simply about XX and XY. like I told y'all before, I think when the Supreme Court comes back into session, marriage for the community is going to be on their agenda. Overturning that one. And even with the, addition of Katanji, it is still a very conservative Supreme Court that we have. And speaking about Supreme Court decisions, I guess I did not really realize how significant this was, not just within our country, but with the rest of the world, because from what I am looking at, the laws around terminating are crazy in some countries. And I'm not talking about third world countries. I'm not talking about third world countries. I'm talking about some parts of Europe. And when you look at it from that perspective, it appears, this is just my opinion, that the fear of extinction for those of European descent is not just here in the United States. ATC, not just here. It's outside. One country, I can't remember what country it was, but it was an English-speaking country. In Europe, there was a lady that will die if she takes the pregnancy to term. And the doctors are afraid to allow her to terminate because of the interpretation of the law. Even though that is a valid reason in their country. So I really did not, I guess, I'm trying to think idyllic in regards to this, in that, for the majority here in this country, this is not going to be a major impact, and that we will have something back in place at a national level, because I'm pro-choice. I'm a believer, but I'm also a believer that it's not my decision, but it's not my body. That's just how I feel. Because we're all going to have to answer to the Most High when it's time. Now, do I believe, that it is a life during the entire time? Yeah, I do. So that would answer the next question. Do I believe that it is murder? I believe that it is for some people. you know, but I also believe that it's not my decision to make for somebody else. It's not. And I know that the way that this particular law came into play back in the 70s, when many of us either were little kids or we weren't even here. So we don't understand. But I think I mentioned in one of my recent shows that, Roe, in the case, she never got a termination. So how did they get that to go through with her name on that case? Now, it's a tricky situation in regards to this. Because of how this law actually... Hold on one second, you guys. Let me take this on mute. Sorry. I told y'all my son likes to take his phone calls on speaker. So I have to get him to take the phone someplace else. Don't come back down here with that. Sorry, y'all. Hey, Sinister. So, you got people on both sides of the fence in regards to that being overturned. So don't be surprised if marriage for all is overturned. Because I promise you that is on their agenda. There's a case from, I think from California that they're trying to get them to hear. Because here's the thing. Although marriage for all is legal in the state of California, it was not the wish of the people of California. And here's what I mean. It was on the ballot multiple times. Every time that they put that on the ballot, it failed. The legislators in the state of California pushed it through without the voters' blessings. So I'm just saying that to say that California may seem to be this liberal state, but that's one that, and the case that they're trying to get heard in the Supreme Court to overturn it is from this state. And that's the reason why. It's because, now, I could care less. You can marry. I told you, to me, marriage is a civil union. That's the way that our country treats it. They don't treat it as a spiritual, covenant. anymore. So if you're not treating it as a spiritual or biblical, then what does it matter if it's two men or two women? But what is wrong, in my opinion, is for the legislator of the state to make the decision against the people's will. And this was done before the Supreme Court did what they did during the Obama administration. It was. But those who don't live in the state of California, people don't know that the voters of this state did not, as a whole, want that. As a whole, they didn't want it. Here comes David, y'all. Come on and say hi, because we're about to get off. Come on. Say hi.
Yeah.
Say hi, YouTube.
How you do?
All right. Cool. And me and him are going to be doing some gardening tomorrow. Fun stuff. So, let me tell you guys about what's going on with the job stuff. So, I've got out multiples for permanent and contract positions. And I think I did tell you guys that the company that I worked for 9 years is trying to see if they could bring me back at a lower salary. So I'm going to see what madness they're also talking while I do it. Interesting thing that I really thought is that the one position that I used to have, with them prior to me going back out into the production, in the training portion of the company, that there's a position available and it's remote. But except for California, you can't be in California for that particular position. And I think, if I think about it, I think that I'm the only person that was in California that worked in that department ever. Interesting. So, wasn't anything else, but I did like a couple of contract things, and now I have a couple more that I'm going to put through tonight, but I accidentally converted my resume from a doc, so I've got to convert it back to a doc before I can upload it to anybody else. And tomorrow I will be putting in for some Six Sigma positions because I have a green belt in Six Sigma. So I'm going to be checking with a couple of the firms that I either worked for or worked around that do that type of work, process mapping and implementation and lean projects and stuff. See if any of that's going on, because apparently I've got time. I've also started to try to put together my schedule for putting together my videos and getting them edited so that I can push out content more regularly, get myself back on schedule, because I'm just so freaking far off schedule with putting up my content outside of my live stream. So I'm trying to get all of that together. I'm trying to get together, y'all, because I'm trying to get to 2K. I'm trying to get to 2K before the end of the summer, and that's only another month. So it's this month and next month. This month and next month. But you guys, I'm about to get out of here. I will be back on tomorrow. I'm not going to lie and say I'm going to come on in the morning. But I have choir rehearsal tomorrow night, so it will be at some point during the day. That part. And then, of course, I'll be on a Friday. So I'm going to get out of here. Let me find my outro, guys. I'll see you guys. Until then, I give you peace and blessings from the West Side. Y'all stay safe in these YouTube streets, in these real streets. I'm out, you guys. Peace.
Well, guys, that's it for tonight's Not So Random Chat. But I'll see you guys the next time. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out. Peace.